Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, hold on a second. That's a terrible start. You know what? Why the hell would I say that? We are live though. I'm gonna cut that start. This isn't a ladies and gentlemen rap. No, this is a what the hell intro. I don't even have an intro for this actually. I just appreciate all you who are watching this right now. So enough with the ladies and gentlemen crap. I'm not this isn't Mr. Nice Guy today. This is
This is breaking news. I can't believe this crap guy today.
This is I'm gonna take a beer and slam it on my face. Sandman shout out. I had to wait. I had just That's for anybody watching. I'm gonna show off my Sandman shirt because I'm in love with it. But the WWE has been sold. Um, we did a podcast episode, and it's not to Saudi Arabia. Okay, it's not to Saudi Arabia. Thank you, thank you.
Woo.
But it yes, WWE has been sold. And holy hell, we did a podcast episode about this, about the rumor for this, about the middle of January, and during that time, we did say that we would probably see a sale after WrestleMania, and when we said after WrestleMania, holy shit. We are not even 24 hours after the second night of WrestleMania, and they announced the sale this morning. So, for those of you, everybody knows by now, but we're gonna run it down fully through. The parent company of a fellow fighting company, the UFC, named Endeavor, has bought WWE, and they are merging WWE with the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So Endeavor will now be the parent company of the two biggest fighting brands in the world of all time. The UFC is worth $12.1 billion and WWE is valued at $9.3 billion. So this sale is combined at over $21 billion. That's a lot of cash. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And see, when I think of this, it's crazy because I follow UFC as much as I follow WWE closely. And so when I think of UFC, I think of Big Dana White. And when I think of WWE, I think of Big Vince McMahon. So when I think of both of them in the same company, that's just that's just mind-boggling. So WWE shareholders will get 49%, and the Endeavor shareholders will be getting 51% of the new company. This new company will have a name. We do not know the name yet. The name will be announced later on in the future, it is said. But Vince McMahon will retain his current WWE title of executive chairman. Um, Yeah, this is a lot. It really is. When you're a sports fan like this and you follow one of the companies or both of the companies like I do, this is a major thing. Especially when you think of it as the WWE family business has come to an end, which is crazy. WWE Vince bought the WWE from his father in the 80s and is now over. Um, wow. Let's just start off. What are your thoughts on this, man? Like what this is a lot to process. What are you thinking about right now?
Um, I wish I could say I was shocked, but I'm really not because we all knew it was coming. Um, like you said, thankfully it's not to Saudi Arabians. Um, I guess a couple of things that running through my mind right now is what's next. What's next for the product? Is it going to be a huge change? Is it going to be a slow change? Um, of course, how much power does Vince McMahon really have with creative? Um, we we saw Shane McMahon come back last night. So will that mean Stephanie come back and all of them have corporate jobs within the system?
You know what's crazy, real quick? I know this. This is. I just want to throw this out there. You remember when Shane told Vince McMahon he should buy UFC a long time ago?
Yes, yes.
That's.
Ironic.
Oh, it's so ironic, man. It's so funny, man. I was thinking about that and I was like, wow. And he came back last night and blew his knee out. And then, wow, that's just. It's the world is so small.
Yeah. My parents always said, what comes around goes around. And
Yeah.
man, they were not lying. Um,
The big thing I think that we will see. So I'm just going to start out with small little basics that it is guaranteed we will see. There will be co-promotions now by 110%. You will see, like when you watch SmackDown and you are Raw and you see Michael Cole go, this match is brought to you by Progressive,
oh God, yes.
or last night, they had this Cinemoji match or the Bray Wyatt Mountain Dew match or those little promotions and advertisements. What's going to happen now is in between matches, Michael Cole or whoever is going to say, make sure you tune in this Saturday for UFC 290 or whatever, the big match with, blah blah blah. Like let's say they're promoting
Definitely.
UFC for, let's just say in July they're gonna say make sure you tune in this Saturday for John Jones versus Miocic for the belt. That's gonna happen. I can
Of
guarantee that.
course.
Or UFC, they're gonna do the same thing. Make sure you tune in this Saturday for SummerSlam on Peacock. If there is a Peacock, we'll get to that in a little bit. I don't want to talk about that yet, but that's the biggest concern a lot of people are having. We'll get to that in a little bit, but that's gonna be big. A lot of co-promotions. I mean, it is a business. That's business. Business is a business. You're gonna see co-promotions. They're gonna
Of
say,
course.
and you're also gonna see, you're gonna see fighters cross over to WWE for special events and all that, etc. We saw Daniel Cormier come over to do the special referee match at Extreme Rules for Riddle and Seth Rollins.
Well,
You're
and
gonna
then
see
it
that a
makes
lot more.
sense. Well, it makes sense. He was in the crowd for NXT.
Indeed, you're gonna see a lot more of that. Like I said, business is business. I mean, you're gonna see all these UFC fighters coming over to WWE or hell, even WWE fighters in the crowd for UFC events. I mean, we saw
Which is we've seen it before. So
exactly. I'm trying to remember exactly which one. It was a while back, but there was it was a little bit after WrestleMania last year, but they showed Triple H, Vince McMahon, and Stephanie in a UFC crowd at an event.
well,
It,
and think about it. The Undertaker with him and Brock.
yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
so this is they have history of doing things like this. So like you said, it's definitely going to happen. It's business. But while we're on business though, the thing that I'm hating from this that we're about to see a lot of people lose their jobs. And it's because of with the merging, you have two sets, you don't need them. So they're going to start letting people go and stuff. And I really hate that. And it's definitely, and it's going to be more behind the scenes people than talent. We may not see any talent go.
Yeah,
But
there only I can definitely agree that we'll probably be seeing. You'll get the little notification that says blah blah blah, and WWE have come to terms, or their contract is up and they're not renewing, or they've asked for the release. Like, just a little throwing a little news out there as well. PW Insider came out today with saying that this more than likely, obviously, it has probably nothing to do with the sale, but the grizzled young veterans have requested their release from WWE today.
oh wow.
Yes, they actually have requested their release today. I feel so bad for Joe Gacy, man. Um, but yes, so anybody who follows NXT very strongly, that was today. They have requested the release from WWE. So that
And and not to interrupt you, but now with you saying that, now think about all these talent that will ask for release and stuff. Man, they're gonna shoot over to AEW or Impact or it's definitely gonna affect the market.
oh, indeed, it will. Basically, expect for the next 4 to 6 months, little changes here and there, little addings like, oh, that's weird, they've never done that, or oh wow, he just got released, or oh wow, they fired him. There's gonna be a lot of little things like that. I can tell you this much: I don't think it's gonna be anything major except one thing, which, like I said, we will be getting into. But other than that, I do think it will be business as usual. But you can, it's just going to be a lot of co-promoting now. Um, I think
And like you said,
UFC.
the I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna say just the man, and I know how much it got on our nerves seeing all the brand support, the drinks, the cereal and
Yeah.
stuff. This is gonna become every day. If you're gonna watch WWE, you better get used to it.
Yes, if you are a follower of UFC, like I don't complain really about the brands at all on WWE because UFC overloads with it. They do it like crazy. I'm not even talking about the branding all over their shorts and stuff. Um, just in between their pay-per-views and all of that. They over advertise like crazy, but that's business. So I'm used to it when WWE when they do it. It's just when WWE does little stuff like the sin emojis and the mascots out there. It's a little odd. But basically, what this is WWE is not going to determine how UFC conducts business. UFC is not going to determine how WWE conducts business. This is going to be business as usual. And I think a lot of people are thinking that they're going to merge, as in, like, you're going to see John Jones on Monday Night Raw with the belt fighting Roman Reigns. That's not how this is. This is just a big company taking advantage of two of the biggest um, fighting companies of all time and merging them into one roof umbrella. They're all going to be under the same umbrella. But like I just said, they're not going to UFC is not going to conduct WWE's business and vice versa. But you can see stars from other like UFC going over to WWE in the crowd and them showing them, or special guest refereeing, stuff like that. Um, with that being said as well, I could see, like, for example, Ronda Rousey. I could see her being able to use her UFC content now. And what I mean by that is this is little things like Brock Lesnar comes out wearing MMA gloves, but they do not say UFC and have the branding on them. Same with Ronda Rousey. I could see that changing and have it saying the UFC brand, or little stuff like the UFC logo, or just UFC content in general. Because you got to remember, those two were huge UFC athletes. Huge UFC athletes. So, and another thing that I think they may ease up on. So UFC and WWE are different in this sense. Mandy Rose apparently was let go because of what? Her whole OnlyFans,
Oh,
whatever it was.
right.
WWE is a bit strict on that, and obviously because it's PG, stuff like that. But UFC is not that strict on that. A lot of UFC fighter have OnlyFans and all that other stuff. A lot of people are speculating that we can see it that strict, because not just OnlyFans, but like Twitch. You know how Dakota Kai Twitch streams and how it's very strict how they can do that. I could see it being eased up now. The strict is being eased up because UFC is not that strict with that type of stuff. They kind of let their guys do what they want. Um, they have some rules, but nothing like WWE. So I can see the rules being kind of eased up a little bit.
Yeah, and for this simple fact, again, I understand this business and you want to market a certain brand, but here's the thing: you're taking away other revenue that the talent can get.
Yep.
Give it back to them. Let them be able to do that, and it benefits you. It benefits the company,
Indeed.
and it'll make it. There's a lot of talent that left just because they could. They were telling, "Oh, you own my stuff." No, I give it up, leave, and go do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be a win-win for any talent that's worried about things like that.
Yeah. I think, and that's what we mean by like little changes, like that's stuff behind the scenes, obviously, and you may see it if somebody's reporting it or something like that. But in terms of weekly television, I don't think there'll be anything big. I truly don't think so. The one thing though that I'm gonna get into that could happen that's big, I'm not too sure. It just really depends on how Endeavor wants to go about this in the future. So WWE right now doesn't have pay-per-views. They have PLEs, premium live events. As in, you can pay for Peacock for $4.99 a month, or if you want premium, $9.99, and watch all their library and every pay-per-view right then and there from any device, anytime, anywhere. And the replay for it right after it. Go back, go for it, whatever. UFC does not. UFC, you have to pay for the pay-per-view every time, which is $74.99 every single time. That's a lot of money. Some are speculating, and I am a bit worried about this because Endeavor is the one who does control this. They control this, it's what they want to do with UFC.
Go ahead, and I already got a reply.
Yeah, we could see possibly. I'm not sure. It's just I'm just a little nervous about it, but we could see WWE switching back to paying for pay-per-views. $74.99. I'm not sure. It could be going back to just regular $50 or 60. I think it was 50 for HD, and like 40 for SD. But you get the point. We could see that. I sure as hell hope not. But that is heavily speculated because Endeavor. That's UFC and all that good stuff. I just find it odd. I would find it very odd to have both of them under one umbrella, and only one of them you pay for pay-per-views, and the other one you have like a subscription. I just see that very odd. I can only see them coming together as a term of saying you pay this much, like UFC hopping into a subscription, but it's going to be with WWE as a library. So let's say Peacock, let's say Endeavor, or the name of this new company gets a hold of Peacock, and they say, hey, let's make a deal. You get UFC's library as well, and their future pay-per-views, so you can watch WWE pay-per-views and UFC pay-per-views from Peacock and their library. Here's the contract. Or they say, hey, Peacock, screw off. We're going to make people who watch WWE pay for the pay-per-views just like UFC. I just can't see them having one paying for pay-per-views and one subscription. I think they're going to come together as a main either subscription or pay-per-view, or as a bundle, saying, hey, do you want to watch UFC 290 and WWE's Money in the Bank? Buy the subscription to Peacock. You can watch all of it, But go ahead.
Well, I agree with you 100%. They're going to go one way. It's no sense of doing two business models.
Exactly. And that's exactly.
So then, but the thing is, they can't do anything until the end of the year because Peacock's contract.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see it early.
No.
But and you think about you're going to look at which one is more lucrative for the business. And you got ESPN, which legitimizes your sport. Would that not be more lucrative?
Yeah.
So
with ESPN Plus.
right.
And
So
that's how they already go through the UFC pay-per-views right now. Is you have to have a subscription to ESPN Plus to get access to the pay-per-views to then buy the pay-per-views. Because I have ESPN Plus, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard about ESPN Plus, I for some reason thought, okay, if I have ESPN Plus, I could just watch the pay-per-view for UFC. Like if you have Peacock, you can watch pay-per-view. Hell no. They said you have to buy the subscription to ESPN Plus and then buy the $75 pay-per-view. Holy hell! And just like you said, business, I cannot see them going, one does this, one does that. They're both going to come to one big pay-per-view bundle or one big subscription bundle. But like you said, it won't be towards later on in the future. But I can almost guarantee it will happen. That is the one major change that will happen. And Clayton said in the comments real quick, if pay-per-view does come back, do you think they'll go down to just the big four? No. And I'm going to tell you why. UFC does not have a pay-per-view every month. They have it every 2 to 3 months because the fighters have to actually get ready and train.
I'm sorry. I know what you mean, and you're 100% right. But just the way it came off is just funny.
Sorry, no
disrespect. I got you.
No shots at any of the wrestlers. I was just saying. I see how that sounded.
Right.
But UFC, they do train, and promote their big matches, and it's every 2 to 3 months. So if you had the big four for WWE, it would be the same every 2 to 3 months. And I feel like that right there, Endeavor would say, hell no, we need something for when UFC is not on. We need something every month. We need something to be... Endeavor the point of this is to make money,
Exactly.
And here's another reason why I don't think they'll do the big four. There was a time last year, a couple times, where UFC and WWE had their pay-per-views at the same time at night. They're not going to want that, because if they have just the big fours, that's going to happen a lot more than you think. They're not going to want that. What they're going to do is have WWE every month so people can actually sit down and watch WWE, and then when the UFC happens, they're going to have it on that Saturday. WWE has the next Saturday, but keep it going. WWE is not going to go down to just the big four. I did not see it happening. They're going to want to keep making money. They're going to want to have a pay-per-view every month.
Well, I don't think that is what he was saying. Now, I could be wrong. But I think he was meaning by the big four get the pay-per-view.
Oh, you have to pay for the big four, and then the other one.
The subscription thing. Because honestly, that's not a bad. I actually think that's not a bad model either.
Now that you say that, and Clayton, I'm glad you said that, because that's another way they could do it, and let me tell you why. That's actually not a bad model, like you said. UFC has their big pay-per-views every 2 to 3 months, but UFC actually has something every Saturday. They have Fight Night. Fight Nights is every Saturday, and you can watch that with the UFC Fight Pass, or I believe some of them are even on cable, just like WWE.
Right.
So they could do it the same way. You get to watch weekly television, and you get to watch, the premium live events, like Backlash.
Exactly.
Let's say for this month, it's going to be everybody gets the chance to watch Backlash, and everybody gets the chance to watch the next UFC Fight Night on Saturday. But whenever the SummerSlam comes around and UFC 2, I don't know which UFC, I think it's going to be close to either, I think it's going to be 292, or I believe, somewhere around there in the 290s, or 290 itself. You got to pay for those because those are the big ones. I could see that. 100%. Yes, I could see that. That's a good shout. So that means it would be You got to pay for WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. Yep.
Jeez. Now,
And
this is a crazy question. Real quick. I asked somebody about this today when I was at my job because we were talking about this. What if they went crazy enough and said you got to buy each WrestleMania night?
yeah, they definitely will.
Oh
That,
God, that
yeah,
makes
that why would look? You ain't letting the fans go in every both nights without paying, are you?
yeah. And see, that's what I was telling the guy. Um, and it just baffles the mind that we're not going to be there live, but let's say we were going to pay for it. So if you do the math, I'm not great at math, but 75 plus 75 right there on a weekend. Good God.
$150 for a pay-per-view where I'm gonna be pissed. One night could be
I'm not even
great.
going to be there.
One night may be good. The next night is gonna be terrible.
Exactly.
Man,
Like
come
like
on.
like this WrestleMania. If I paid $75 for night 1, I'd be happy. But if I
I'll
paid
be
70
cool.
if I paid $75 for the last night, so in total I paid $150 and I got one night that was great and the other night was like, man, that was not that good, I'd be really pissed off right now.
Exactly.
But
And I go back to this type of thoughts too. And being wrestling fans, we being a true wrestling fan, we always have the bill like, oh, they're doing this sucks or whatever. We're emotional with everything that goes on. So okay,
yeah.
now they would tease stuff to draw us in. So we're like, man, just a perfect example. Edge and Finn Balor. We said on our podcast before that we did not care. We had no interest in it, nothing. But what did they do? They sucked us in. They drew us in. We both said, man, this is almost the most important thing we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
And then the disappointment of that match for us. So they will still be able to get us because that's what we are. That's what makes wrestling fans who we are.
Oh hell yeah.
And this is what's going to help UFC because the last time when I started watching UFC was the early days. I used to love it, but then I'm more of a wrestling fan and they don't draw me in. Yeah, you got your pricks and all that, but they wasn't animated enough for me. But now you got the company right beside each other who can train them, who can help them.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Either way, this will bring a lot of viewers to both the companies because when they start the cross promoting, people are gonna be like, "Oh hell, that looks like a great match. I'm gonna go over there and watch that." Or, "Oh hell, that looks like a great fight in UFC. I'm gonna go over and watch that." So don't be surprised when you watch it SmackDown and instead of Progressive, you see UFC whatever coming up. Or you're watching UFC and instead of T-Mobile, you see WWE coming up. Because that will happen, not with 100% without a doubt. That's the main point of this is to cross promote.
Oh yeah.
But so the people who are going to be in charge of the big thing, I got it right here. So the CEO of Endeavor, who I'm sorry, not he will be the CEO of the new company. He will be the CEO, I believe.
CEO, right.
Of Endeavor. Is Ari Emanuel. He's the man who did all of this. And he said in his words, let me get the quote. He said Vince McMahon is a visionary and a cable pioneer. And I mean, he's not wrong. He's not at all.
Nobody would be where they are today if it wasn't for Vince McMahon doing the low down shiesty, stab people in the back, steal your talent crap that Vince did. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth.
Hey, just like that's like they say, Vince McMahon. When Vince McMahon sets the dinner table, he puts forks on the right and the knives in the back.
Man, love it.
But yeah, he said Vince McMahon is a visionary and TV pioneer. And he loves to do business with him. And Vince McMahon said that basically, and if you haven't watched the interview with CNBC, go ahead and go watch it. Vince McMahon has a mustache, just like that was purported. And it looks like he's dyeing his hair brown.
Yes, of course he did.
But go watch the interview. It tells you a lot of really all you need to know. It's a nice little pre-recorded interview they did a couple days ago. But Vince McMahon said that when basically this deal was approached to him, he didn't second think it. He basically was like, "Oh hell yeah," instantly, and he said it's the best day of his life. He said that he was asked about the family legacy, and he said, "Well, I mean, this is the legacy, you know. I mean, this is business. Business is business." So this was they both seem to be very happy with the sale, but Ari Emanuel will be the CEO of the new company. Vince McMahon will be the executive chairman. Mark, I always say this dude's last name wrong. But Mark Shapiro is going to be the president and COO of the new company. Dana White will be the UFC president, and Nick Khan will be the WWE president. So, listen to that. Nick Khan will be the WWE president. Dana White will be the UFC president. Vince McMahon will be the executive chairman of the new company. The new company. Not just WWE. Think about that. Vince McMahon will be overlooking the UFC. He will be looking at it. He will be giving his thoughts. And then, like I said, Mark Shapiro will be president and CEO of the new company. And then when it dials down to the two companies individually, Dana White, UFC, Nick Khan, WWE. Good God. Talk about a big board right there. Jeez. That is that. Oh my gosh, man. That's a lot of money in one room. That's a lot of
Oh
money
yeah.
in one room.
But here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. Vince actually has a boss.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, dude. I was like, wow, Vince McMahon has somebody above him.
And what you look at his age, he's whether you like Vince or you don't. You think he's heaven sent or the devil. Either way, Vince has did what Vince needed to do to take care of Vince.
Yep.
Because he re-signed the contract with the WWE, which I don't know if a lot of people know. I've been seeing reported. He has signed a 2-year new deal, him and Nick Khan. And the funny thing is that if Vince gets let go before the 2 years, nobody knows for exactly what his package is, but they are speculating it's not worth letting him go. So,
well, I mean, will we see Vince McMahon start to take full control of WWE though? And I mean like creative control, a lot more. I don't know. I feel like we will see a lot more of Vince McMahon in the creative aspect, but I'm not too sure.
Well, and that's the funny thing too. Let me so Brady's asking what's the new name of the company. They said they're gonna say it in the next couple of months. And
yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say. So I see the comment. TKO is gonna be the stock market name, and then Endeavor. They said that's just gonna be the parent company. The new name of the company, I have no idea in hell what it could be. So I cannot answer that question. But they said that actually the name, because I'm reading this right now on the CNN. or and the CNN business that we could see a new name change within. We can see the new name within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Um,
Right.
so yeah, but TKO will be their stock market name for the stock exchange, and then Endeavor is going to be the main big boss company. That's going to be the main parent company. It's going to go Endeavor, and then
Whatever the
the
name.
name is, and then that name is going to branch. That company's going to branch off into the UFC and WWE. Um,
Exactly.
but Endeavor is the big boss. But going back to the Vince McMahon, do you think we will see Vince McMahon in a lot more creative control now of WWE?
Oh, I'm glad you brought it back up. I knew I was trying to remember what I was saying blanked out. So, from what the reports I've seen, Vince will have some control, but final say so is going to Triple H.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And the things I've been seeing is they are super happy of what Triple H has been doing, and they do not want to change that as of right now.
Okay. Okay. That's good to hear though. I'm glad. Here's the main thing I was thinking about this because Triple H is he's a humble guy. He's a nice guy. He loves what he does. Um, I'm excited that Triple H is still keeping his position because he deserves it. He likes what he does, and everybody likes that he's doing it. So I'm glad that he's keeping his position. Um, because during this whole sale, I was always nervous that like, oh, Triple H is gonna get bumped down or put somewhere else. I'm glad they're keeping him where he is because he deserves it 100%.
Oh, and a couple of things. One, why would you mess with the guy who you clearly see has got the WWE on an uptick?
Yeah.
Two, whether people want to believe it or not, Triple H is a wrestling traditionalist. He knows wrestling history. So he's going to put it out there and get it out there the best way he can with it making sense to keep moving forward with the product. So that way you can keep traditional wrestling fans like us still engaged, still knowing history, storylines, and keeping us satisfied while also bringing in new casual fans.
Well, and I could tell you this much. Since we're on the Triple H little topic, no matter how much we complain and sometimes, excuse me, but we bitch about the stories or the matches in WWE. The WWE story wise and matches and weekly shows are the best it's been in a long time, and I'm talking years. Um, so and that all goes to Triple H. So I don't know why the hell they would even bump him because he's doing a hell of a job. And I can't see like because Brady said Vince would work his way back in the chair. I honestly can't see him working his way back because I feel like the position he's in right now, he wants to only be in that position. Honestly, I truly think Vince McMahon doesn't really want to work his way back in the chair as much as we think. I think he wants to keep his position and the new parent company as executive chairman. I think him moving up from WWE into the executive chairman position as new company, he's like, all right, well, that's it. I'm glad I'm here. I don't need to be putting matches together. I just want to overlook the company and the business part.
Well,
I don't think he'll work his way back in the chair. Truly, I mean he's 77 years old, and he said he just wants to be there. I,
I think a lot of it too with Vince is he, I mean, I I understand from this perspective. If I had a company, there's certain things that I would do that other people may not agree with, and be like, "Well, you're out of touch and this, that, the other." But it's your company.
Yeah.
You brought it up. You got it where it is. No, for for good or bad. So you want to have certain input, but then you have a hard time letting go and giving that control, because in the end, everything fell on you. So now he's gotten into a position where, okay, I know I'll be compensated. Plus, I can still give input not only to WWE, I can give them a new challenge for me with UFC to give them input to help grow their business. Vince is a just business driven person, I believe. And I think, like you said, it's like, hey, I'm here now. I get two toy boxes to play with, and I can give my thoughts on them.
Exactly. That's why I don't think he'll be really taking in as much control of actually as matches and stories as we think, because it's almost like in his eyes, I'm above that now. That's below me, Like I'm in a big boy company now, I don't need to do all that crap.
Well, but as we say this, the funny thing is he was back in gorilla position night one and night two.
Well, and here's the thing about that, because Brady, I saw that you said he's already started, though. That's correct. But you got to remember, that's because this new parent company hasn't come together fully yet. He's not in the chair yet of the new company. It's
Yes.
I so that he needs something to do until that company's fully put together. so
Yeah.
so yeah, I do agree he has had some thoughts in some of the matches, but that's because hell, he's bored. He said, "All right, I'm gonna just do this until that new company's put together." But I could guarantee it that the second that new company, the name's out and it's fully the deal is fully done and complete, he's gonna say, "All right, bye guys, I'm going back up to my chair." Only reason he's not in the chair is because the chair has not been fully made yet for him to sit in.
True. I definitely agree with you there.
Um, but like I said, there's the only time will tell for everything we've said with the pay per views and the promotions and the cross promoting and the fighters and what they can do. And like I said, I don't think too much will change. The only thing that I think they may switch up is the pay per views and the PLEs and possibly Peacock's contract and people leaving and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't see anything major changing.
So I got to bring it up. I brought it up a little bit, but I want to get your perspective of it. What do you think? Well, this, how will this affect AEW? And I say AEW because they're the biggest rival to the WWE.
It won't. It won't. Because like I said, this is gonna be, people are, I feel like, are really overthinking this. This is just gonna be a lot of cross promoting and easing up restrictions on superstars and just two of the biggest fighting companies just under one roof. I truly don't think this is gonna change. I don't think it's gonna change anything about that. Now, if it was like, oh, WWE and UFC are becoming one company and the superstars are all on the same roster, oh shit, AEW, you're gonna have a problem. Then that would be a problem. But I don't see really it having a big toll on AEW.
And the reason why I ask is because I think it will have. It's not going to have a super. Oh my God, they're going to go try to end the world movement or anything, but they're going to take some of the models that AEW is doing, because they went back to doing some of traditional stuff, and this company sees where it's still working. I mean, come on. The like you said, the major pay-per-views that AEW do. A lot of people didn't think that would work, and we see it is. Look at the storylines and how they doing things. Well, it's a work. I mean, it works well for them. Then think about this: um, how they go to like they do their premium shows. It's still Dynamite, but they name their shows. Will WWE kind of model that, just like we said, the 4 major events, and then have the what the hell, Money in the Banks and all that, And I think, and plus, that's going to stop a lot of work that AEW used to do with their fighters, the different fighters. They're not going to be willing to go over for AEW because they're not going to be allowed.
I honestly, and this ties into Brady's other question. He said, does it become PG-14? What about TV deals? Honestly, fellas, I'm going to be honest with you. I truly don't think the sale changes a damn thing. I think all we're going to see is more cross promoting, as in WWE on during their show says, hey, make sure you watch UFC, and UFC does the same thing, and possibly the whole pay-per-view thing. But other than that, with weekly television and storylines and superstars and you name it, I don't think it changes a damn thing. PG-14? No, it's not going to become PG-14. It's going to stay PG. It's going to stay PG, and the TV deals, it's going to stay the same.
Now, that's where I disagree with you at.
Which one do you think changes?
Now, the TV deal is definitely going to change because they have more leverage with. You got 2 of the biggest companies. You can bring hey, you want to do this deal here? Well, I got this. We want this. You can have both of the biggest companies doing this on your network. And if you choose not to do it, we can go somewhere else easily and give them a better deal than what we were going to give you. The TV deals will change tremendously. The PG-14, I can, like you said, why change it? You're in a pocket, a good pocket. I understand that.
Now, what channel do you think will take? Like, do you think USA Network goes away? Do you think Fox Sport goes away, or what do you think?
I don't venture a guess on that because it's so early. Plus, you got something else. You got ESPN sitting right there, which UFC already deals with.
Well, the reason I don't think the TV deal will change is because UFC actually isn't really on free cable television. They're on ESPN Plus.
That's my point. And that's my point. What would drive, because ESPN has been doing crap. They've been going downhill steadily for the last few years. What would be a great way to get numbers back to ESPN? With a built-in, you already know you getting so much, a million something viewers at this time. You getting 2 million viewers at this time. What? It makes business sense to be able to leverage a better deal with people who will pay it. And that's why I say they definitely have the edge when going with their negotiation versus what they had before, because it's a hot commodity. Even though it's not what it used to be, it's for the present time, it's hot. Why not take advantage of that? And just like Brady said, more leverage.
I feel like the TV is going to stay the same, and the reason being is because ESPN. I feel like they're too stacked. I know ESPN has a shit ton of channels. I know they have ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Plus, ESPN, blah 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 blah. But I mean, whenever football, whenever football stops, Monday Night Football versus Monday Night Raw on ESPN and ESPN2. You know, I know that's a lot of views, but I just feel like they're not going to put two shows against each other like that. Or College Game Day on ESPN tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. is on ESPN tonight. And then they have UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus on Saturdays, you know. And even Fridays, and I don't know, man.
But look, they fight within each other now, and look at the views. Look how many, like you said, how many different channels they have, and you have a different base for each one of them. You got they're getting the SEC. They got what is the Big Ten? They're gonna have more of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So man, come on. This is a monopoly, and then the whole thing is it's a monopoly.
The TV deal, only way I'm gonna believe it is when I see it. Truly.
And I don't have a problem with that. I agree with you 100% because look at it. Just like we talked about this deal, we wasn't going to say anything about it anymore, think about it until we saw it, right?
Yeah, I almost feel like if they, man, I don't know. The problem is I watch UFC just like I watch WWE. So I tune into their ESPN Plus and the fight nights and even the little the little side shows they have. I cannot see WWE changing their network. I can't see. I almost feel like it would be stupid, to be completely honest. But like I said, I'll see it when it happens. Then I'll believe it because it could happen. They could put. I mean, I could say, I wouldn't be surprised if they put them together. I mean, they're going to become one major company. Why would they not put them on the same network? So I can see it happening on ESPN, but at the same time, it's like, why the hell would you do it? But
and here's the thing, they may not, you may be 100% correct, but you know what's going to happen if that does stay the same? They're going to have to come out of money. USA going to have to pony up. Fox is going to have to pony up. So they're sitting in pretty in the catbird house.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is Fox USA will pay the price. They will, because USA has had Raw for so long on that same night on the same channel at the same time that they will pay the price because they know how many viewers it brings to USA Network.
Yeah, and they know what happened when they let them go too.
And I'm telling you, man, I truly feel like they'll be like, shit, we cannot get rid of them. we will cough up the money. Honestly, I could see Fox getting rid of them more than USA. USA, I feel like it's going to be hard to get rid of, man. Because of Fox, I could see being like, all right, we'll pay this price, but no more than that, you know? USA, I feel like, wait, we'll pay this, you know? But with the whole PG-14, hell no. They'll stay at PG. That's not happening. There's no way. There's just no way. I can't see that happening. But yeah,
what's that old saying? What is old becomes new again.
Yeah, that's true. I almost feel like if they were going PG-14 though, I know the sale it won't be complete for a couple months, but They announced it yet to this morning, and I almost feel like if they were going PG-14, they'd show at least a little bit of Finn Balor last night. I mean, shit. They didn't show him at all for 5 minutes, man. That was
Well, I mean,
ridiculous.
well, between that, they didn't show when Shane got hurt. It's just there again. Just because they announced it, and like you said, this is all new, so it's going to take time to understand where they want to do, where they want to go, how they
Yeah,
want to pursue things. So
yeah,
you know,
exactly. Um, but yeah, I mean that's really the sale. I mean we covered everything. We dug deep into everything. There's really not much else to talk about until more stuff starts coming out, more stuff starts happening. Um, So, with that being said, I mean, we appreciate everybody who watched this to figure out more. If you're watching this live, make sure you watch tonight the Monday Night Raw, which is the Raw after Mania. And make sure you keep up with the news of WWE and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like and share, comment, subscribe. Because whenever something like this does happen, breaking news, we will be on top of it. We will be covering it. Um, we do the podcast live every Sunday from at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we do podcasts like this of breaking news. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications of when we go live. But with that being said, Bear, would you like to say anything before we let everybody go?
uh, just the usual. Thank you for checking us out. Thank you for being a wrestling fan, and thank you for your support, because without y'all, there would be no us. And one other thing, quick note: the B&B show has moved to Friday,
Oh, yes. I'm
so
glad.
please check us out. We have went to Fridays. We got new episodes coming out. Hey, please enjoy it. Please enjoy everything that we do, because believe it or not, we have fun bringing it to you. So thank you once again.
Yeah, and with that being said, we released actually 2 episodes of the B&B show last week. So you got 2 of them. So go watch both of them and go watch the other ones we released. Go watch the other shows on our channel. Go watch Brady. Brady. I I'm gonna hit you with the CM Punk. Are you ready for this, Brady?
Well,
I'm gonna hit you with the CM Punk, Brady. I'm old and I work with children. um No, but go watch our other shows. Go watch The Vault, Brady. Hopefully we'll see some new episodes very soon. Go watch Clayton's show, he's dropping. Go watch the B&B show. Go watch the live of WrestleMania we did. If you want to rewatch WrestleMania with us, bring it up on your phone or your computer and then pull up a video of us watching. We have our live from night 1 and night 2. We talked about what matches are coming out and we gave our reaction. So go watch WrestleMania with us. It's out now on our YouTube. And then go watch our other podcasts as well. And go watch the ending of season 1 of our Proving Ground of our 2K promotion. Wrestle Forever was huge. It was amazing. It's the views are going crazy, so make sure the views keep going up and up and up, and make sure you subscribe and tell everybody about it. Go tell your grandma, go tell your dog, go tell your cat, go tell your dad, uncle, wife, whatever. Go tell them about it. It's awesome. But with that being said, we really appreciate y'all. This sale was huge. Make sure you go watch Monday Night Raw. You're gonna see some little changes probably within the next couple of months.